While doing research for this video, I found an amazing article on Comics Alliance about comic books and colors. Definitely check them out. As an adult collector and one who is fortunate enough to have at least some display space in his home and office to put up his favorite toys, I'm talking about myself in the third person here, I spent a lot of time staring at them, a lot of time taking in the awesomeness that is having sort of a full collection. And one of the things that tends to stand out is colors, especially when you start to see lots of characters on a shelf with the same colors. Now, I divide a lot of my shelves by heroes and villains. I have my villains grouped together and I have my heroes. In particular, I like to collect Spider-Man villains. I don't know why. Well, I know why. I like Spider-Man villains. I like Spider-Man. Why do I have to explain why? The point is, when you group villains and heroes together, you start to see very common color schemes. And this is something I noticed not just as an adult collector, but at my time as a brand manager in the toy industry. Fortunate to work with some very, very talented and knowledgeable designers who gave me a bit of a crash course on why I see this. In particular, Bill Benecke, who was my partner on Masters of the Universe Classics and DC Universe Classics, not only is a very talented designer, he's also a fan. He's a huge fan of DC comic books and Masters and all that pop culture fun. He's also an amazing Lego builder. But the point is, he explained to me, I asked him, why is it that we see these colors? And it's not at all an accident. So one of all designers' tools tends to be a color bridge, which is a Pantone guide showing all the different colors that are available. I would see this on people's desks all the time. And it wasn't just to match colors, but it was finding colors that could be applied to product, in this case toys, that created a certain emotional feeling. And Bill sat down and was kind enough to explain this to me. And there's a reason why, as an example, you see superheroes in kind of the same three color patterns, either red and blue, yellow and red, or yellow and blue. They are purposefully done this way, not just because of the way printing had to be done in the 1940s and 60s. I mean, that did contribute to it. The fact that you could only do 4-color printing back in the before we had computers to colorize everything. So you were a little bit limited on the number of tones you could use on a page in the Golden Age and the Silver Age. But there's a reason you still see certain colors being used to signify either villains or heroes or even comedic characters, sidekicks, secondary characters, things like that. And you see this repeated over and over again in visual media. Obviously, comic books, like television or movies, are a visual medium, and the concept of color theory is something that helps us on a subconscious level understand what we're looking at and immediately be able to say, oh, hero, villain, sidekick. It's very subconscious, but it's one of those things like once you see it, you'll never not see it. And while there have been lots of different ways colors have been used to represent different feelings and emotions, in the comic book world, the best example is probably the Lantern cores. Not just the Green Lantern, but there's cores for all the colors. Well, I guess with Green, there's only one guy, but there's the Red Lanterns and the Blue Lanterns and et cetera, et cetera. So those color meanings are just for Green Lantern. That's not actually the emotional connection. Yellow is not a color of fear, and green is not a color of willpower, versus green is actually nature, healing, and freshness, versus yellow is courage. So looking at cross-section of superheroes, I just grabbed the Marvel universe for funsies, you can definitely see there are some colors that repeat and some colors that are unique, like Hawkeye there in purple and blue, where everyone else tends to be in more primary colors. So let's talk about the color combinations and what they do. When you have red, which is a color that invokes energy and passion and can also be about danger, but you contrast that with blue, which is a color that creates calm, trust, and shows intelligence. Well, it's about putting these together. And those two colors are the most common heroic color scheme. And you see this across all IP. You put a character in red and blue, they're going to read as a hero. It's why even exceptions like Harley Quinn, who wears red and blue, comes off as very heroic because she's wearing hero colors. It's part of the reason why she's so popular. I mean, she's also, cool and badass and all that, but she's one of the rare supervillains that wears this combination, and it's why she's so popular. Red combining the energy, passion, and danger, this time with yellow, happiness, hope, and spontaneity, not fear and cowardice, as Sinestro would say. Well, these colors tend to invoke speed and something happening very, very quickly and energetically. Hence why Flash is covered in red and yellow, and Iron Man is red and yellow. They're both characters that, well, move very quickly. Flash, obviously, has powers tied to the Speed Force, and Iron Man is just tied to technology, but those colors still invoke the same kind of heroic, and I'm going to do it quick. One of my favorite examples is Golden Age Captain Marvel, or Shazam. I'm not going to call him that. But yes, again, even with the lightning bolt, the red and the yellow symbolize speed and courage. The final hero combination tends to be yellow again, with happiness, hope, and spontaneity, now combined with blue. When you take these two colors, the blue being calm and trust, it tends to be a feeling of security. This is why you see a lot of safety and construction workers wearing yellow, yellow meaning, their hats, safety, and also police forces tend to use yellow and blue together a lot. It subconsciously invokes a feeling of protection. It's why you see superheroes like Nova, for example, in blue and yellow, because essentially he's a cop. He's a space cop. So seeing these colors on him will immediately invoke a subconscious feeling of protection and being calm. And same thing with someone like Dr. Fate. In this case, it's a mystic warrior who also protects you. So you see him and you say, oh, hero, he's there to help. Now, a cross example, you would see something like Thanos, who wears blue and yellow. But that's because he sees himself as the hero in his own mind. That's his colors. He's safety for the universe. And he has a purple face, and that brings us directly into purple as the next color because that purple offsets the blue and the yellow. When you see purple used in a character, that doesn't invoke hero, but it tends to invoke villain. And again, I borrowed this image from Comic Alliance. So purple, blue, those are the hubris colors. When you see those together, it basically means scientific minds gone array or mass chaos come together in some kind of way. Likewise, orange, which represents creativity and enthusiasm, when this color is paired with purple, which brings up that mystery and that hubris and also can be used for luxury or spirituality, those colors just don't invoke hero. You try to put them on a superhero and it doesn't work. You either laugh or you don't feel protected or calm. It's almost a jarring feeling that you're put at ease or at dis-ease. That's why those colors work so well for the Joker, because seeing the Joker makes you feel at dis-ease. That's the entire point of his characters. He's crazy. So purple and orange together create that subconscious feeling that, well, you're probably in trouble if you're talking to a character that's dressed in these two colors together. And, well, yeah, get away. Green, on the other hand, when combined with purple, this is a combination that not only invokes evil and chaos and things out of control, but it's used very creatively to sort of throw the reader off. So, for example, when you have a hero that has green and purple, it's done deliberately to make you feel like maybe that hero's a villain at first. The best example in all of pop culture and comic books is, well, obviously, probably the jolly green Goliath himself, the green and purple Incredible Hulk. He was colored in these colors so that you would feel like, oh, is he a villain? But you have to realize he becomes a hero. But the colors are what essentially scare everyone away. I mean, also his giant strength and the fact that he's huge. But usually when you see these colors together, it's immediately a villain. It's very rare to see a hero in these colors, and if so, it's being done to make you feel off and that something isn't quite right, like the Hulk and Sleepwalker. Now, white, on the other hand, is a color that tends to be used to mean purity, like with Captain America and Spider-Man's eyes. But if you're using that as a solid color, it can also mean spirituality and wholeness, as well as just kind of, generic. And so while the Silver Surfer uses all white, or silver, which is a variant of white, for that, stormtroopers are characters that are white to feel monotonous, like they're just one of a million. It's like a playing card. It's the same reason that they have white fields. It's to make them feel part of a set. So Colors, when they're used on superheroes and supervillains, are extremely deliberate choices. There's meaning behind them, and it's really fascinating. I definitely encourage you to check out that article on Comic Alliance. I'll put a link below, and let me know if you have any other questions or what your thoughts are on colors. Who are your favorite colors for a superhero or a supervillain? Do they match the colors outlined in this video? Let me know in the comments below. Thank you again so much for watching. Please do share this video. It's the best way to show support for this channel. I appreciate all the comments as well and try to comment back as much as I can. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.